here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as always. And how quickly the Pittsburgh Steelers became the joke of the NFL, to be quite frank with you, to be quite honest with you. And where does that fall? At the feet of the head coach? Where does this all fall? And honestly, do you think that I'm wrong by saying that? We're going to explore that and a lot more. Make sure you're smashing the shit out of that like button. Make sure you are sharing the show. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the best show in town. That's right here on Mike Drop Sports. We truly appreciate you joining the Steel City Live each and every single day. We value your opinion so very much, so we will definitely dive into all of those chat questions, comments, questions, and concerns. Again, make sure you put all that in the chat. And again, share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to dive in. My computer's being a little bit slow, so I'm going to be bringing up some information that I wanted to go over about some of the statistics from one Mike Tomlin and what he has done here as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Many people in the national stage say the Pittsburgh Steelers would be absolutely batshit, nuts, stupid, crazy to ever get rid of Mike Tomlin, to absolutely cut ties with Mike Tomlin, that would be the biggest mistake they ever made. But to be honest, I don't feel like that I've been harsh enough on Mike Tomlin. And I know there will be the people out there that say, Jason, anytime that they go on a losing streak, somebody's going to bring this up. I've been pretty consistent with my thoughts of Mike Tomlin. Even during the good times, I've been pretty consistent with those thoughts. However, when you look at this franchise and you look at what it was when he inherited it, when he became the Pittsburgh Steelers head man, when he became the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and where that franchise was, coming off a Super Bowl win, yes, they had a bad year in between there, an average year, a Mike Tomlin type year, but for the main part of two careers of two different coaches, the Steelers franchise was revered. It was one of the premier franchises. And Mike Tomlin was handed the keys to a Ferrari. And what did he do with that Ferrari? He won some games there at the beginning, but once those players started to phase out, once Bill Cowher's team started to phase out, and you started to see more of a product from Mike Tomlin, even though you had a franchise quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, you weren't able to have that success that you once had. You weren't able to continue to build off of that with a franchise quarterback like Big Ben. You weren't able to keep the franchise on the path that it was, a trajectory that it was. Sadly, when you have a franchise quarterback and you only come away with that with 2 Super Bowl championships and 3 Super Bowl appearances, all right there, under Cowher and at the beginning part of Mike Tomlin's career, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth a little bit. However, Mike Tomlin, what did he do with this franchise, guys? What did he do with the Steelers franchise? Made mediocrity acceptable? Made the fan base celebrate mediocrity? I mean, we celebrate mediocrity to the point that we applaud Najee Harris for having a 1,000-yard season in a 17-game season. And we're going to sit here and act like that is something special. And it's not. It used to be. Back in the day, that used to be. But that was under a different format of games and a different format in which this league operated. But now when you look at that, it's not as impressive as it once was. It's not impressive actually really at all. It's average, and I believe that that's what Mike Tomlin's brought to this franchise. He has brought mediocrity at its best. He's brought the celebration of mediocrity, and I just think that it's something that can't be celebrated any longer, and I'm sorry. I just don't, I'm not buying the bullshit. Again, guys, sorry, my computer is acting crazy and haywire here, so I'm going to try to see if I can mess with it while we're on here, so I'll use this as a chat. Sydney Wilson in the house. What's up, Big Sydney? I think they have a chance, Sydney. I do. I'm not saying that. It's a divisional game. You know what I mean? So you always got to give the Steelers a chance in that atmosphere, that type of game, Do I feel good about it? No. Chances are the Steelers are probably going to get dog walked. And it's probably because of what I'm talking about right now. And I know everybody's not going to agree with me, and that's okay. That's the beauty of Mike Drop Sports and the community in which we built. We can talk freely amongst each other. We can talk freely and really share our ideas and share what our thoughts are on this football team, and not be beat down for it. But I feel okay about it. I do. We'll see what happens. Hold on. Let me see if that helped it. Okay, Donald Loudon back in the chat. All things are possible with a boob for a head coach. Yeah, he definitely deserves some of this criticism, guys. And I can't sit here and act like it's not. But hey, it is what it is. Again, guys, I'm trying. Dan Bidsnick. Ben failed a lot. Ben had his failures too. He was part of that, but we're not going to sit here and continually not cast blame on Mike Tomlin. He's the guy. He's the head coach, my friends. And when you sit here and you're not gonna cast blame on this man for turning the Steelers franchise into an absolute laughingstock, in my opinion. Do you understand, my friends, how the Steelers are looked at right now? They're looked at as an easy game. They're looked at as not the Steelers anymore. You heard last season when you were talking about like offensive football and things of that nature, defensive football, and the coaching staff, Mike Tomlin included, they were talking about coming off the bus and people having that fear of that Steeler team, that big time respect for that Steeler team. Yeah, you still hear that lip service, but these teams don't respect Pittsburgh. They're basic, vanilla in their game plan, their schematics. They're horrible in that way. They know they're going to face a coach that in the big situations isn't going to come up big in terms of clock management, roster management, schematics, adapting, changing. People know that. Other coaches in the league know that. They may have the lip service of, oh, we respect Mike, we respect what he's doing. We respect him. He's such a great coach. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what you're going to hear that. You know what I mean? You're going to hear that kind of stuff. But to be honest with you, it's not that way anymore, in my opinion. These teams come out and they come out gunning at the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's up, Anger? He says, my prediction is 27-17 Ravens win. Andre Green, could it be said that Mike Tomlin won his only Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's players? I'm saying it. I don't know about other people, but I'm saying it. Tomlin sniffed his own farts too many years. Downtown John Broadway. What's up, my friend? Donald Loudenback, Jason, your show is the best. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Donald. Feel the steel. Man, this game, I want to see 90 and the Steelers defense ball out for Steelers Nation. Feel the steel. Yeah, I would love it too, man. I would love to see that play from Pittsburgh with TJ Watt, with Alex Highsmith. Being able to bring the blitz a little bit would be nice, guys. You cannot continue to play this style of defense that they play without bringing some type of blitz here and there. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but I ask myself, do they think that the secondary's that bad that they cannot afford to blitz a middle linebacker in any situation because they have to be back there in pass coverage? Those things come, they pop into your head here, and it makes you wonder why they don't blitz at all. And if Mike Tomlin's stuck and hell bent on this bullshit of we have to get there with minimal numbers all the time, I think that that's bullshit to the franchise. Because yes, you can attempt to do that. That can be your philosophy. You want to get there with minimal numbers, but you still have to have some sort of diversity. You still have to have some exotic looks, some things that confuse opposing quarterbacks. And if you don't do that, confuse opposing offensive coordinators also. Quit coming out in this base look all the time, this plain look that you come out in if you're Pittsburgh, and expect there to be a different result time after time, because that's not going to happen. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button. I'm still trying to get my chat up here and bring everything into the show here. I usually go off of this, but I'm just trying to get through here. Jason, you know as well as I do, that team cannot prosper when there is zero accountability. Possibly, yeah. And again, I don't know what Mike Tomlin does inside of that building. None of us do. They keep it pretty buttoned up in the media in Pittsburgh. Is kind of tight-lipped with what they're allowed to give. Also, they have their marching orders, and they're not allowed to stray from that. And you don't get the type of information that you probably need to get. But Jason's sitting here telling you it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out kind of what's going on. You see the disorganization of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You see the secondary at times with their hands on their hips, looking at players like, what are you fucking doing? You know what I mean? And that starts with coaching, guys. It does. And if you want to lie to yourself and say that it doesn't, fine. You're entitled to that. But I'm going to be truthful about it. And Mike Tomlin has been a real fucking issue, man. He has made it good, or not good. He's made it acceptable for mediocrity to be the lead dog in that clubhouse, sadly. Let's keep going. I got my chat back up, so make sure you're hitting that like button. Double tap that screen for us here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason, as always. We're starting a little bit earlier. Hey, man, you can expect us anytime. I want to give, a little bit of time for people that, could watch a little bit earlier, maybe people that could watch a little bit later sometimes. We do that from time to time, trying to come in a little bit earlier. But we are going to try to hit that 100 likes here again in that live stream. We've done it a couple times here in the last couple weeks. I want to do that again tonight, but it takes you guys hitting that like button, double tapping the screen, or hitting those three little white dots. Also sharing the show out into that wonderful world of the YouTube algorithm. Dan says, you got me wrong. Ben and Tomlin are to blame for ruining the team. I'm not going to put Ben as a part of that, Dan. I can agree with you on half of it, but I'm not going to put a player as part of ruining that team. I don't see where Ben ruined it. Ben was a franchise Hall of Fame type player. You talk about maybe diva type attitude here and there. Maybe that was his role partially, but that's not ruining that franchise. That franchise had other leaders in that building, had other players in that building, and a head coach got to be able to put a little bit of the kibosh on some of that shit and keep the team together. And when you have, almost 2 decades with one club as the head man, you got to have some pull in that building. You got to be the guy that rules the roost. I just can't put that on Ben. I got to put that on Mike. I'm sorry. Mike has to be the guy. If you want to have the title of head coach, you want to be the man, you got to take all the bullshit that comes along with it. You got to shoulder the blame. You got to shoulder the load when things go bad. That's what it is. And when the national media wants to sit here and dog Steelers Nation, dog Steelers fans for saying that they are ready for a change of scenery, that Mike Tomlin it has just worn out his welcome a little bit. Once a Steeler, always a Steeler. He'd always be welcome in the city of Pittsburgh. But maybe it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to offer Mike Tomlin in a trade. Maybe get a second and a third round pick for him. Start to rebuild this organization. You look at guys across the league that could potentially be a head coach. You ask that question, who would we get? I'm going to Detroit, and I'm getting Ben Johnson, and I'm going after him and seeing what he can do for 20 years as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Those types of guys. There's the Vrabels out there. There's, the Floreses of the world. I like Brian Flores. There are several candidates that make sense, that would fit that Steeler type culture. What the culture used to be. They talk about Brian Flores being a hard ass at times. That's what this culture used to be. The head coach used to be tight with the players, but yet was known as that hard ass that didn't take no shit. At least with Bill Cowher, that's how you felt about the ball club. You felt like people respected Bill. They knew not to push the buttons because he'd light your ass up, but he loved you, and he was there, and you knew it. Then you saw Chuck Noll roll with an iron fist. Maybe didn't have those relationships somewhat with the players, but ruled with an iron fist, and people understood it's Chuck's way or no way. Sometimes you need to find that mix, and a guy like a Brian Flores, a Vrabel, a Brian Johnson out of Detroit, those types of guys I think could come in and really do something special. And again, thank you, Mike, for your almost 2 decades of dedication to the franchise. I appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of fans do. But sometimes you got to look at the negatives that have been brought here. You got to look at how a storied franchise, one of the league's most winning, the most storied franchise, takes a nosedive and becomes a laughingstock, a joke, part of the mediocrity train. And that's something Steelers fans don't want. All right, guys, I'm going to get back into the chat, but I need you guys to double tap that screen, hit that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we want to hit that 100 like mark. Also, we only needed 29 or 39. I can't remember. I think it was 29. 29 more subscribers. So 29 more of you to go get us to that 4,000 subscriber mark. Let's go get that tonight. Again, also, we're chasing that 100 likes like we always do here on the live stream. We've been able to hit it a couple times, so let's go ahead and do it tonight. Inger says the only thing that's wrong with y'all is your offense is horrible. I mean, horrible. It's just not wired. Y'all need to find a whole new offense and manage it new ways. You all will be fixed. I got to say it is a problem, but I don't think you need to throw it all and crush it and start all over. When you come out and you don't throw the football on first down, until the fourth quarter, you have no balance. You have no real schematics that any defense is going to fear. That's going to be confused by your schematics in any way. They're not going to be worried about your balance. They're not going to have to guess. They can really just pin their ears back and come at you. It's really easy to defend. And that's the Steelers' problem, guys. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Arthur Smith has been bad. Mike Tomlin has been bad. Those guys got to shoulder this blame, my friends. You cannot come out there and call these plays and expect things to work. Toss left, toss right. To guys like Cordell Patterson or Najee Harris, or Jalen Moore. None of that shit's just dated and stupid. They got to be better than that. You see all these motions and exotic formations that are used across the NFL at times, and the Steelers do none of that. There's no pre-snap motion, no pre-snap shifts of real significance. There is no way that they can confuse a defense. The defense can see it coming a mile away when they line up. Donald Loudenback, hey people, Ben stayed too long because he had $25 million left on his contract and he wasn't willing to walk away from that. I wouldn't have either. Dylan, I'm a Bears fan and thank goodness we end our losing streak to the Packers. Yeah, man, sadly you picked the worst quarterback you could probably ever pick in Caleb Williams, in my opinion. I think he's going to be a shitstorm throughout his career. That's just my opinion. I may be wrong about it. But sadly, I just think the Bears organization also is freakishly ridiculous in their moves and the way they handle things. Mike Tomlin needs to figure out a way to wire this offense thing, man. He plays defensive football in an offensive league. He does, man. He does. Mark Malone. Well, it is a Tomlin coach secondary. Yeah, and guys, everything that you see a Mike Tomlin fingerprint on instantly becomes mediocre or below average. And if that's not, if you don't believe that to be true, the numbers don't lie. Yeah, that's the real Mark Malone, Dan. That's our Mark Malone. Yep, the real Mark Malone. Steeler veteran. Sydney, I agree. Blitz, please. Yeah, I would love to see some blitzes, Sid. Pickled says, wait. Are you Matt Canada? Yes, I am Matt Canada. Look at me. I look like Matt. Mark Malone, the secondary can't even get on the same page as it is. Absolutely, and that is an issue, guys. And you see the Steelers maybe coming together a little bit weak. You saw some this week. You saw some of the practice clips. Maybe some of that communication will get back to where it was pre-injury of Deshaun Watson. We'll see, but man, is it bad. Oh, thanks, Inger. Do you advertise me? Everybody go give Inger a subscribe. He's cool, man. Go check Inger out. You can click on his name and subscribe to his channel. He's an up-and-comer, young gun. Mark Malone, he smokes a lot of pot. J Block, bro. Jason knows. Thanks, J Block. Inger, Schittsburg needs to get their stuff together on offense. Mike Tomlin's horrible with the offense. Angelo, Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh, my. Football Productions, Buccaneers on top. Dan, whatever happened to Merrill Hodge style trap run? Yeah, Ah, man, I admire Merrill, man. We had Merrill Hodge here on the show before. It was cool. It was way back when we were about probably a year old into this thing. It was pretty cool to have Merrill Hodge. We had some technical stuff going on, but we were able to get a good conversation with Merrill Hodge right before the NFL draft, so that was cool. But here we just celebrated 2 years of making content here on the channel. It was tough tough sledding, but we're here now, man, and we are about to hit some major milestones and really take off with the help of you guys. So make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us, guys. It's free and it really helps our creators. We need another like to hit 20 here early in the live stream. Let's keep going. I know there's 20 of you in here that are the OG, so let's make sure we hit that. I don't know what happened to the run style here. You look at the zone run scheme of Arthur Smith. That's what he was known for. I just don't like the way he's utilizing the backs and their skill set. I mean, Najee Harris has his moments, but he shouldn't be the lead dog. I did find out why Patterson, guys, but I did find out why Patterson was out of there or out there during the end of the game, and that was because Jalen Warren took a helmet to the hip, so he was nicked up. That's why you saw Patterson. So I don't know, man. What to say really with that, Dan. Za says Bucks versus Steelers Super Bowl. I'd love it. I'd love it. Remember that replay Ben and Tomlin were watching on the Jumbotron instead of planning for the next play? Yeah, I remember lots of mess ups, man. I can't argue that, damn. Daniel Smith, Ravens line, Super Bowl. Matt Burton, Tomlin has no trade clause in his contract. I hear a lot of people talking about it. He could authorize a trade, so it's honestly not really far-fetched to talk about it, to be honest. But I could understand what you're saying. If he has one, he has one. But those could be easily wiped out. Donald, Tomlin has no trade clause in his contract to Adam Schefter, according to Adam Schefter. Guys, if they want to, they can make that. Trust me. None of these contracts, you can wipe your ass with half of them. Just saying, in the NFL. They can make shit happen. Now, if it's in there, it's in there. And if Mike's not willing, but hey, if the Steelers front office says, hey, we'd like you to explore a trade, Mike, where would you like to go? We'll try to talk to these people. Maybe that happens. We don't know. Derby Entertainment, last time we were the 6th seed. We won the Super Bowl, but I don't feel optimistic at all with this team. Yeah, the only difference was with that team, Derp. Good to see you also, man. The only thing different with that team was riding in on a win streak. That team was flying high. That team had a lot of energy behind it. That team had a franchise quarterback behind it. I know he was not playing super well, but he had some real good games throughout that playoffs, to be honest. That AFC Championship game in Denver was a really good one, but, Ben had some moments during that, and I don't feel that same optimism either, Derp. The Steelers cycle continues. Great start and crashes at the end of the regular season, and are definitely going to get whooped by the Ravens in the wild card. Yeah, guys, whose feet does that fall under? When you can't keep your franchise and you can't keep the wheels on the bus, there comes a time you have to be the guy that shoulders the blame. Matt Burton, last time we were 6th seed, we had a Hall of Fame quarterback still in his prime. Donald says, Jason, I'm sure you've seen the video of Jack Lambert yelling at Jack Ham. Hall of Famers yelling at another Hall of Famer. That's leadership. Yeah. Leadership in today's NFL, though, is a little bit different, guys, and we have to all recognize this, too. And I think a lot of fans that are from back in the day, such as myself, too, that are, 70s, 80s type guys, those people, 90s. You were used to a different style of football. All these guys coming into the league now got this woke, liberal bullshit attitude. You can't yell at them. They pout, they cry, they whine. They don't take coaching well. They're big babies. Everything's always against them. The world's against them. They always got something negative to say. Just real sissies, real weak-minded people. And that's the type of people this generation, my generation, we've bred that into these young people. And it's our fault. It's not their fault. And I know they have that victim mentality, but we've created that. And that's what you deal with in the NFL. And you can't be the leader that you were, yelling at people, screaming at people, getting in their face, trying to get them fired up. It doesn't work like that anymore. You almost got to coddle these people and be like, it's all right, buddy. I know you dropped 3 passes in a row, Georgie, but daddy will take care of you. We'll come right back to you. We need you, buddy. Instead of, hey, George, wake the fuck up, asshole. You're costing us the fucking game. Quit worrying about arguing with the fans and get your fucking ass out there on the field and start producing. We don't have that anymore. You know what I mean, my friends? We don't have that type of environment inside of the NFL any longer. And that's the sad part of it. And that's just society in general. Let's keep going. Dan says, nice, Donald. Let's go. Deet. Neither Russell Wilson or Justin Fields are built to lead the Steelers to a Super Bowl, especially with these tanks in the AFC playoff picture. Any given Sunday, I think Russell Wilson has proven he can win a Super Bowl. He's already done that. Justin Fields, I just think, needs a little bit of work in the pass game, and I think he could be a complete ball player. But you may be right for this year, D, you know? Craig Werlow in the house. Sometimes the message gets stale and needs a new messaging system. Absolutely. And Mike Tomlin's system's one in which that it's that of a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, to be honest with you. Like Mike would say, to be quite honest with you. I got to say this about his press conference this week. He said a lot of off-the-wall shit that Mike Tomlin normally doesn't say. He said a lot of shit that he normally does say, but it was like a real weird press conference for me. And you know what I didn't hear him say a lot of? To be quite honest with you. I heard it a few times, but not a ton. And again, that's the sign of a liar, and he must not have been lying as much, you know. Or maybe he's just lied so much this season he now believes himself. Hold on, guys. I must have got a package. Sorry, I was just reading my doorbell there. Let's keep going here. Derpy Entertainment. I have my optimism with Fields and Russ. Mr. Potato, can you tell my friend James? Well, James, your record sucks. 0-14, you must blow at that. You must not know ball. You must not play again. And I hope you weren't playing for money because you're donating. Dan, if Tomlin was always as humble as he was last week, I'd support him. It's his fake tough guy thing that I can't respect. Yeah, I can't argue fake tough guy. I hate fake tough guy. We get a lot of fake tough guys here in the chat sometimes. Not every night, but some nights. Mr. Potato Head, can you tell my friend? Yeah, man, don't spam my chat. I already did it. Mr. Potato Head, please do not spam my chat with that shit. I do it the first time. Guys, I answer the chat messages, but when you spam it and you put the same shit in there 10 times, it makes it harder for me to get to everybody's comment. I'm probably the only podcast host that tries to answer every one of your comments. So don't spam that shit because it makes my life 1,000 times more difficult. Hold on one second. Aiden! I don't know who was at my door. They can't get in. It's locked. So, and the alarm system would go off. But anyway, Clowns fans are always telling me that they like Tomlin as to be surprised at what they don't like him anymore. Yeah, every other team will be like, oh, we'll take him. You know, hey. What's up from Louisiana? That's Paul King. What's up, Mr. Paul King? Welcome to the chat. Can Mark Malone look at the way that Minka has turned into a stinker? Yeah, it's sad, ain't it? He come in like a ball of fucking fire, didn't he? Paul Bowman says, only a few times a game does an offense trick the defense. Players need to make plays like Pat Freiermuth, tight end, dropping a perfect pass. Yeah, but he made a ton of other ones and that. And if you look at Pat's statistics throughout the last several weeks, he's been the most the most close that you could be to perfect that anybody could be. Dropping one pass, I can live with that. Pat Freiermuth is one of the actual few bright spots. But guys, you want to talk about the pass game? Maybe throw the ball more than fucking 5 times in the first half. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, maybe not throw the ball constantly in only obvious passing situations. Maybe make yourself have a little bit of a little bit of a more balanced feel to your offensive unit. There's a lot of variables that go into play. Everybody wants to say Russ is just horrible. He can't throw into the middle. He can't throw this. He can't throw that. Well, guys, he barely throws the football first and foremost. And again, it's always an obvious passing situations. The offensive line gets their ass whooped. Dan Moore had probably the worst game I've ever seen from a pro tackle. He just got absolutely fucking dog walked. Broderick Jones wasn't far behind him. And again, these guys are pinning their ears back and they know what's going. They know what's happening. That's not hard to defend. Mark, you played so hard against the 45-28 loss to the Dolphins AFC Championship in 1980s. Yeah, Mark did, man. Mark Malone, he did play tough then, man. He played his heart out. We love our Mark. Mark Malone, we love you, brother. He was all-time Steeler great. Feel the steel. Hey, Jay, watch. Ratbirds are going to be cocky, and it's going to cost them. Just watch. I hope so. Everybody just feel that steel, baby. We truly hope that's the case. Mr. Potato. Oh, my God. You put that in there so many damn times, dude. William Finley. I have a terrible towel in my man cave. I got a few. I got a few of them. I got one right here. Yeah, I got a few of them. Oh, you're a Pens fan. We're going to start doing some Pens content. Yo, Jason asked Derpy to give you a B90M. What's a B90M? I don't know what that is, bro. Danny George in the house. What's up, Danny Thomas? Steelers are going to get smoked in the playoffs. Downtown John Broadway. Talking to Danny. Thomas Lions versus Bills or Ravens in the Super Bowl. Guys, let's all be honest about Lamar Jackson. He has a 2-4 playoff record or something. He's not very good inside of big games. Actually, he's never won a big game in his entire career. I don't know why everybody all of a sudden thinks that there's going to be a magic switch that flips on that, puts Lamar Jackson into Super Bowl contention. He's the only multiple-time MVP that doesn't have a Super Bowl win or appearance. Let's keep going. Hey, Paul. Coach Tom is welcome in Atlanta. Remember what you wish for. I remember it, man. He's been here for almost 2 decades. It's time to move on, man. It just is. Even with Chuck Noll, people knew it was time to move on. Bill, it was getting to that point, but he had just won a Super Bowl. His wife, Kay, got sick. That's kind of what ended Bill's career. But I'm sure it would have happened with him also. I just don't understand why people think Mike Tomlin's so irreplaceable. What did he bring to the city of Pittsburgh? An acceptable level of mediocrity. That's what he's brought. I'm just saying, guys. I don't understand what people are so enamored with him for having a non-losing season streak, but not winning a playoff game since 2016, needing help every year to get into the fucking playoffs, never winning your division, having a 5-1 record in your division last year and you don't win your division. Make that make sense. Zach Curry, I think the bad energy on offense is stemming from Fields, translating to GP. I don't. Fields isn't on the field. Pardon my no pun intended there. He's not on the field, and he's been injured, so he couldn't have played anyway. He just recently got back going here. Thomas Breeze, what's up? I'm done. What are you done with, Thomas? The Steelers. Donald says the 2010 defense would have never tolerated this shit show we have now. Oh, how we miss Dick LeBeau. Yeah, it's a shit show right now. No doubt about it, man. To be the highest paid defense and to perform the way that they are performing is kind of sad. Rod says, do you think we need to part ways with Pickens and Tomlin? It wouldn't hurt exploring it to see what you would get, if you're Omar Khan, to be quite honest with you. Paul Bowman, Falcons would love to have Coach T. Danny George, win or lose, we stick with the Steelers. Froggy Insider, what's up? Top 50 broadcaster. Yeah, I'm more like top 5, top 2, but I appreciate the props, Froggy. Steelers, I think we should keep Jay Fields and just build around him, because with Russell Wilson, if we build around him, he is going to retire soon. So no point. You're just building around Justin because he's young. Yeah, but he's got to make some significant strides inside of the passing game, my friends, inside of the pocket, and until you could trust him with that, I don't know how you hand him the keys to a franchise. And I understand what you're talking about, and I applaud Justin in a big, big way. I understand that he's young. I understand that he has a lot of athletic ability. But again, guys, running back and quarterback isn't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy that can run when he has to and throw from the pocket, because that's what wins championships, guys. That's why a guy like Lamar Jackson won't hoist a Lombardi trophy. It's reality. It's the truth. And people wanted to tell me a couple weeks ago, well, running quarterbacks really just started to get into the league. Okay. But if you want to talk about what a guy, if you're looking at today's type talent and talking about running quarterbacks, guys, though, that can also throw from the pocket, you look for a guy like Jaden Daniels that got an arm that's a cannon, that can play all around and is having success in his first year. That's the type of prototype you want. And I told you all he was the best quarterback in this draft last year, and I think that to be true still. And I think he's proven that also. Downtown, nope, no. Grow a sack and get out there and play football. Amen, man. Did you hear Tomlin wants to use the Fields package? They've had that for so long. I don't know where you're clicking on that, Froggy. They've had that all season. There's a Fields package. They used it periodically. I don't know what clickbaity channel was saying it, but they'll use him when they need to or when they want to. There's no big package for Justin Fields. I don't know where you're hearing that. Darren Warman. What do you think about Lou being fired from Cincinnati? I don't know anything about that, Darren. So I'd respectfully not comment because I don't know anything about that, though, buddy. I apologize. Jay Boogie, getting sick of this not living in our fears statement, then continue to game plan for every game in their fears. Yeah, he lives a lot in his fears for a guy that doesn't live inside of his fears. His business is winning, that he doesn't do his business. That's another thing that always pisses me off when he says, something about this, but our business is winning. When are you going to start fucking handling business then, bro? Thomas Bree says, Mike Dick and Buddy Ryan couldn't exist today. I think y'all are wrong about the QBs being incompetent, though. Yeah, they might not be able to because there's stuff here, too. And I agree with what Thomas says because that's what I was getting to. That's what I was alluding to. Mike Tomlin's trying to play a brand of football that is similar to some of these people in the past. And that necessarily doesn't translate into today's game. And that's the big thing that you got to look at here with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. Challenger says, Tomlin's ego and stubbornness is ruining our season. He's so full of shit. Yeah, guys, you've not seen one change that's been wheeled out there. And I don't want to hear people say, well, we're not in a room. I'm sure they're changing. You're not seeing any change. You're not seeing any type of adjustments. You are seeing continually the same thing over and over and over again. I'm just saying, guys. You had Mike Williams make a fucking monster catch. And where'd you see him pretty much the rest of the game? Sitting on the heated bench with a coat on. Make that make sense if you're Arthur Smith. And you're running guys out there like McCole fucking Pruitt. But Mike Williams is sitting on the fucking bench. Make that make sense, guys. You're putting McCole Pruitt in the game. Cordell Patterson in the game. And Mike Williams is on the fucking bench. I'm just saying. After making a monster splash play that Mike Tomlin talks about, he always says, well, we didn't make enough of those splash plays this week. Well, when the guy made a fucking splash play, you put him on the bench. You never played him again. Ooh, shit. Sorry, guys. I knocked over one of my studio lights. But anyway, all right, guys, we got to hit the shit out of that like button. We're nearing 100 concurrent viewers right now, so let's hit the shit out of that like button. It's free. Double tap that screen, hit that like button, send us out into that YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe because we are about to hit 4,000 subscribers. We only needed, I think, 29 or 39. One of the two. I couldn't remember. I did glance at it, though, before we got on. Tiny Bob, 10-7, good playoffs. Super Bowl contenders. All right, Tiny. Pittsburgh 4-2. Call me crazy, so how I think we get the win this Saturday. You're not crazy, Pittsburgh 4-2. You're not crazy because it can happen very easily. Very easily. Camilo Jimenez, do you think Packers have a chance at all? Absolutely. Jordan loves quality. The Packers are a solid group, man. Steelers might win against Ravens in the wild card. There's a chance, man. Edgar's Ravens -10 is wild. Yeah, guys, but that's the point. When you see that -10 that the Steelers are facing when they open up this playoffs, this first round of the playoffs, and they're 10-point underdogs to the Baltimore Ravens, a team in which they've already beat this year. A team that they've absolutely fucking owned, since 2020. A team that Lamar Jackson has only beaten the Steelers twice in his entire career. And they're 10-point underdogs. I understand what happened last time, but that was one fucking time. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying the Steelers go there and win because I'm not picking them to win. But I'm just saying 10-point underdogs is what you're getting with this Mike Tomlin era. And that's why I've really come to the conclusion he's made us a joke. He's made us a laughingstock, but yet everybody wants to pay homage and show that respect out here in the public and to his face. But in reality, in their head, they're thinking the same thing you and I are thinking, that he's just mediocre Mike. He doesn't do anything special. He doesn't bring anything crazy to the table. He doesn't bring anything new, exciting, and innovative. He doesn't do anything special for our team. He doesn't. He created an image off the backs of a team that he didn't build. Facts. Facts. And when those players were gone, he held on to that image. Facts. He didn't hold on to it by success because he's not proven any success. JN USMC, Tomlin, all-time great, Hall of Fame, just hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. Still, his postseason record, 8-10, not bad. That's bad. Any losing record, in my opinion, is bad. And that tells you a lot about the coach. It's bad. I can't sit here and agree with you on that one or act like that comment was right. I don't think it's right, brother. Sorry. Let's see. I'm looking up this record here because I want to bring it up. I've done a whole show on it before. And talked about Mike Tomlin's playoff record. But I'm going to bring it up here just to have some things on here. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to... There we go. All right, I found something I wanted to bring up. We'll get to it. Carter says the bus going to go rule today. Okay. I feel like Minka Otto makes the Pro Bowl every year. Yeah, he shouldn't have made the Pro Bowl. He didn't play Pro Bowl worthy. That's why the Pro Bowl and shit like that, the awards, the NFL honors is a fucking joke, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. Anybody that watches it, you're just kind of wasting your time. You can watch it if you want to. I'm just saying it's just a waste of time. There's nothing special about it. The awards are stupid. They're voted on in a weird way from a bunch of fucking beat writers that never put on a pair of cleats in their entire life, you know? It's just the way it is. I mean, hey, we have people that are refereeing and shit that have never been inside of a helmet, don't know really how the game's really played because they've never played it. You have people that talk about it on the national media stage, never have played the game, never really grew up around the game in any way, but they're there talking about it, and they're so-called experts, and we have to hear their fucking opinion. I don't want to hear your opinion if you've never laced up a pair of cleats. There's very few people that are smart enough to know how this all works if you've never played the game. That's just my opinion. There are some, but these people on TV, they act like they're experts at it. And I'm just saying, you're not. I'm not an expert. None of us here are experts, but these people get up there and they preach something and they feed this narrative down our throat. And it's like, how are you coming up with this shit? You don't even know what you're talking about. Dan, yeah, Muth is solid just because he's Minka. You went to a Steelers game, Carter? That's awesome, man. Dale, don't be so predictable on first down. Absolutely, no doubt. See, Steelers, I won in both my fantasy leagues. That's awesome, Steve Steelers. Congratulations. Darren Warman. Wilson is a good quarterback. I think so, Darren. Where's Daniel Warman? I ain't seen him in a couple days, I don't think. Edgar S. Chargers, Ravens, Rams. 3-leg parlay. I hope you hit it, Edgar. Frogger. Kyle Van Noy said Zay will be back. Yeah, I only go off of what Harbaugh says. I listened to Harbaugh's press conference today, and he didn't have any update about it, so I'm only going off of what he says. I don't listen to Cal Van Noy. Marco, Eagles, Craig Myers. It's been tough being a Steelers fan after Ben got hurt. Even before that, it's been a tough Mike Tomlin era. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. The Mike Tomlin era has been filled with more adversity than any other coaching era. I'm sorry. At least that I can remember. I don't know, Miko. Or Miko Koopa. Mark Malone, yes, very underappreciated. Lamar owns Pittsburgh. How does Marco, how in the fuck do you come in here? You get a flag. Marco gets the first flag of the night. Congratulations, Marco, for the world's stupidest fucking comment that I've heard in a long time, Marco. That was dumb as shit to say. Lamar owns fucking Pittsburgh? He's a second contract guy. He plays inside their division, and he's beat them 2 fucking times. You get a double flag for being a dumbass, Marco. I was even nice to you in the first comment. Then you say dumb shit. Froggy, not real. Thank you, Frog. Thank you, Froggy. At least there's one Ravens fan in the house that had some damn sense to say it. I appreciate it, Froggy. Gunnar Jones, do you think the Steelers will beat the Chiefs? I don't think they get to play the Chiefs, but we'll see. Linwood Smith, is the playoff game big? It's always big. It's playoffs, baby. Roberta Campbell, I agree 100%. Tomlin has overstayed his tenure. What's up, Roberta? Darren Warman, he picked up where Coward left off. Matt Burton, difference this year for Lamar is King Henry. Absolutely, that's helping him a great deal. Andre Green, the upset this weekend. Steelers defeat Ratbirds would be very nice. Marco says, Lamar will show you this week coming from an Eagles fan. I don't want to... You didn't mean that. You said Lamar owns Pittsburgh. Come on, Marco. You got to know ball, baby. A well-developed line of BS. That's what all he brought. Thank you, Mark Malone. Yes, an elementary vocabulary that, he utilizes and makes seem like he got some bigger intelligence than the rest of us. Gunnar Jones, do you think they will win against the Chiefs? Why do you keep putting that in there, buddy? You don't have to put it in there 100 times. Challenger are having a 2-game leading, pissing away the division. Amen. Roberta Campbell, Marco, you have it backwards. The Steelers own the Ravens and Lamar. Lamar has only won 2 games against the Steelers. Dan, favorite Steelers game. How about the New Year's Eve wild card over the Oilers in OT back in '89? Yeah, man, I got to say my favorite one's the Super Bowl against the Cardinals. That's my most memorable matchup, besides when the Steelers won the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks. That was on my birthday, February 5th, 2005. That was the best birthday present ever, so it was cool. Roberta, I don't believe that to be true. You don't have to believe it, Marco. The fucking stats tell you, bro. Linwood, can you play football? I've been known. Can you? Donald Loudenback, you know why another team will never hire Tomlin? They see what we see. Old-time football doesn't sell tickets. Tomlin doesn't. Maybe. I think other teams would hire him, but it is what it is. Jay Boogie, if Justin can develop touch in his passes and realize he doesn't have to rifle it in there every time, we might be onto something. Yeah, he has some difficulty. It is true that is facts for the wins and losses between the two teams. Amen, Roberta. Donald and Disney win championships. He's a cult personality. Is T. Higgins signing with Pittsburgh this offseason? I know one thing. He won't sign with the Bengals. And I say that why? Because I just think the Bengals are too stupid to realize that they need to sign him because it's really a smart move. But I don't know how they fit that in the cap with, he's playing under the franchise tag now. So, all right, guys, I'm going to grab a drink. Make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us as we're trying to hit 100 likes here tonight on our daily live stream, only here on Mike Drop Sports. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We are just a few subscribers away of hitting 4,000 subscribers on the channel. And again, we truly appreciate you guys each and every day. It's been an amazing ride. You even get comic relief in here with comments made by Marco talking about how Lamar owns Steelers. Even things like that. So it's really good to see. Zachary Hoffman says, if the Steelers get blown out versus the Ravens, is that going to cause Art to fire Tomlin? I don't think anything causes him to fire him, but maybe they push him out the door, per se. I don't know. Miss P in the house. What's up, Miss P? See, Steelers, we're just hoping Jaden Daniels doesn't turn out like running back 3. I like Jaden, man. I think he's going to be really good. Where else were we? Yes, let's wave those terrible towels for Miss Pittsburgh. Mark Malone, running quarterbacks just got onto the league because the league has dumbed the game down to the point that some of them can understand it. Sad but true. Sadly, it's true. You hear coordinators around the league talk about this in the corners. They don't say it out loud all the time in interviews, but you hear them talking about the offenses are dumbed down to a significantly lower level than what they have been in the past. Sadly, I don't know why that is. Running quarterbacks just want to run, and that's fine. But I think the good ones, like a Patrick Mahomes, like I feel like Jaden Daniels is going to be, those types of guys that can throw from the pocket, understand and recognize things. That's what you want inside of a quarterback. Get them crying towels ready. Gunner, do you think Jaden Daniels is getting Rookie of the Year? He should. I feel like he's a beast. I think at this Saturday's game, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be some changes. I hope so, Miss Pittsburgh, but I don't got no faith. Steelers are the second best team in PA. Currently, right now in this actual season, yes, but as a franchise, they are the best team in PA. They have the most championships. Let's talk about the city of champions, my friends. That is the city of Pittsburgh, Marco. The Steel City, my friend. Feel the fucking steel, my friend. The city of champions. It speaks for itself. Hell, we even got the Clareton Bears. You ride through Clareton, it says the city of champions, baby. I love it. Zach Curry, Marco is delusional. Very. Marco, you're making me wonder if you got something wrong, buddy. You're making me wonder, my friend. Marco, what? Penn State better? Penn State's a college team. We're talking fucking pro sports here. This is the big boy table, Marco. We're talking big boy stuff. We're talking grown adult shit. If you want to be at the big boy table, join Mike Drop Sports, subscribe, and we'll get you in. We'll get you brought up a little bit. We'll increase your level a little bit. Downtown John Broadway, running quarterback are just what? Check-ins history as to how even back in the 50s, quarterbacks did run because of the wing formation, then Randall Cunningham, etc., etc. Yeah, man, history tell you too. Roberta Campbell, I agree. It is Tomlin's ego winning out instead of what is best for team success. I think so too. 412, you're crazy. If I could, I would place a bet with you. Job Boogie, it is funny how Russ is having the same issues Kenny did with missing open routes over the middle. At some point, it's something the core staff doesn't seem to address these problems. It's the scheme. No matter what coordinator you bring in here, no matter what quarterback you have in here, under Mike Tomlin, it's the same fucking scheme. It is. The only difference when Ben was here is Ben had a little bit of pull, and they got to run a hell of a lot more pass plays. But guys, they don't throw the football barely ever. Mike Tomlin thinks this is 1920s leather fucking helmet football. And he thinks the defense is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's really not. All right, guys, we got to hit the shit out of that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we truly appreciate you guys making it here each and every single day. Feel the steel. Smith showed he was Matt Canada since week 2. He sucks. I got to say, the only real variable here is Mike Tomlin, guys. I think Smith does suck, though. I'll give you that. All right, guys, I got to roll. I didn't realize what time it was getting. Sorry about that. So if I didn't get to your chat, I apologize. But we will be back tomorrow for our daily live show. We will also have our daily upload tomorrow morning. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We are about to hit 4,000 subscribers, and we are on a fucking roll, baby. So thank you for joining us here at Mike Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. Peace, my friends. Thank you. Again, if I didn't get to your chat comment today, make sure you stop back tomorrow and we'll get to it. So see you on the next ones, my friends.